This is the tank that my Crested Gecko lived in ever since I got her last year. It's been a little over a year exactly since I got her. Lately I haven't been too happy about it, but Lucy has lived comfortably in here since she was tiny. We got her June 4th, 2023 at a reptile expo in Poughkeepsie. I don't know how old she was then, but obviously she was tiny. As she grew, I added more to her tank for it to suit her needs, and the best choice yet was adding a humidifier and plenty of moss. But the main problem was Lucy seemed crammed in that little 10-gallon tank now. She's grown quite a bit over the last year, but the tank didn't grow with her. It's time she gets moved up a step. So I have a 25-gallon with front opening doors that's been collecting dust, and I'm going to convert it into her forever home. One with more room and ease of access. The first step was switching the tanks around and cleaning the table for the new one. I took the 25-gallon outside and washed it since it was really dusty. It was exciting picturing the possibilities now that I had it ready to go. I also included enough space behind it to have access to a light switch. I started working on the centerpiece of the tank. It's this amazing piece of driftwood that I found by the river. I cut off the necessary parts and I filed down any rough or pointy edges. Then I boiled it in portions since it didn't fit in this pot. I didn't want anything wild or harmful to be introduced to my gecko. And I hosed it off again to make sure it was clean as could be. I had to let it dry for a couple days. In the meantime, I focused on the interior and getting to work with all these supplies. I purchased bioactive soil, aquarium substrate gravel, and carbon pellets, and I still had some fiberglass mesh, but I'm due to buy more soon. As always, I started with the gravel and I rinsed it and cleaned it thoroughly. I have multiple bags with nylon and netting that's perfect for this, but I had to clean it in batches. After I added a layer of gravel, I measured out my mesh and I marked it with painter's tape so I knew where to cut. I made sure not to hold back on the carbon pellets since I wanted this tank to stay fresh for a long time, as long as I can upkeep with the mess. But carbon pellets filter the water that sinks to the bottom of the tank. Next, I had my 2 bags of bioactive soil. I never used this stuff before, and I only plan on using fake plants, but I want the best for Lucy. I want something that'll last and stay fresh. I heard that the soil mix doesn't have a lot of sphagnum moss, so I went and chopped up some of my own and I mixed it in with the rest. It was really dusty, so pick a proper room to do it in and not in the living room. But I got to work with mixing and adding water until I can mold the soil into a solid ball. Good thing I bought 2 bags because it was just barely enough to fill the tank properly. After I flattened it out and kept it damp for a day, I finally got my dried out driftwood and started making the dream work. It's got a perfect arch that I can make a cave out of it. Since it was top heavy, I made sure it was braced with a well-placed rock. Now it's time to start taking apart her current home and cleaning the pieces. I set up a temporary one-day bin for Lucy. I kept her in a room away from my cat. I had to get this done today though, definitely. But I gave her a cricket to pass the time. I knew this was going to take a lot of cleaning. I boiled some more water for some more rocks I found in the river, I started hosing them off and the branches that I had in her tank. I let the rocks sit in the boiling water for a while just to get any pests off them. I went back inside and I hooked up Lucy's humidifier. Now it was time to start putting everything together. The rocks had to be just right and I struggled for a while to find a proper way to place them, but I was very pleased with the end result. I added in her fake plant, but I think I need to buy more this week. I soaked a lot of moss and tucked it into proper places. I used a lot just so the tank could hold more humidity. After working all night on it, I felt it was completed. I knew I needed more fake plants, but I'm still impressed with how it came out. It felt like an upscale of her previous tank, which is exactly what I wanted. Now it was finally time to let Lucy explore her new home for the night. She immediately climbed to the highest point, which I think that means she wanted her humidifier, so I set everything up for the night. I feel like she's already pretty comfortable with her new home. She even explores the cave pretty often. Look at how happy she is. Look at how happy she is. She's so happy. And here's her being less than glamorous when I was trying to get a finishing shot of the setup. I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders knowing she wasn't in that unkept tank anymore. Her new home is fresh and perfect for her for the rest of her life. Thank you all for watching. Stick around for more. I hope you enjoyed this terrarium build. See you guys in my next video.